Groovy English Podcast.
Hey there! Welcome back to Groovy English. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Aiden. We share real stories, useful tips, and everyday English to help you grow with confidence.
Wherever you are in your English learning journey, we're glad you're here.
If you're enjoying the podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with a friend. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, my name is Eva. Today, I want to share how listening to real English every day transformed my speaking skills, and how it can help you too. When I first started this habit, I felt completely overwhelmed. There was so much English flowing at a speed I wasn't used to. I thought, how will I ever keep up? But I reminded myself it was okay not to understand everything right away. Learning a language is like learning to swim. You start by dipping your toes in the water. One thing that made a huge difference was choosing topics I enjoyed. I love cooking, so I found cooking shows and food podcasts in English. This made listening fun because I was learning about something I cared about, not just random language. As I listened more, I started noticing patterns. Like how people say, gonna, instead of going to, or wanna, instead of want to. It was eye-opening because these common contractions rarely appear in textbooks. Listening daily helped me learn new vocabulary in context. When I heard a new word, I didn't just memorize the definition. I listened to how it was naturally used, with emotion, emphasis, and sometimes humor. This helped me remember the words better and use them correctly in my own sentences. I would often write down interesting phrases or sentences to practice later out loud. This helped with both my pronunciation and rhythm, making my English sound more natural. Another surprise was how much my grammar improved without me realizing it. By hearing how native speakers naturally form sentences, I started using correct grammar intuitively instead of just memorizing rules from books. I also developed a better ear for English, recognizing different accents, tones, and speeds. This made real conversations less scary and more enjoyable. Of course, there were challenges. Sometimes speakers talked too fast or used slang I didn't know. Instead of giving up, I learned to focus on the overall meaning and pick out keywords. This helped me stay engaged without feeling frustrated. I started listening during everyday activities like walking, cooking, and cleaning. This turned study time into fun time, and English became part of my daily life rather than a chore. Sometimes I listened during my commute or just before going to bed. These small pockets of listening added up to big progress over weeks and months. One breakthrough moment was when I watched a TV show and understood an entire conversation without subtitles. I felt so proud and motivated to keep going. Listening also taught me about culture. Language isn't just words, it's how people express feelings, jokes, traditions, and stories. This made English feel alive and meaningful. One technique I tried was shadowing, where you repeat what you hear immediately after the speaker. This helped me improve my fluency, intonation, and confidence in speaking. At first, shadowing felt awkward and challenging, but with practice, it became easier, like having a conversation with myself in English and practicing real-time responses. Listening regularly gave me lots of ideas to talk about. When I met friends or classmates, I could share something interesting I heard or ask questions about topics I learned from podcasts or videos. I also noticed my spelling and writing improved because hearing words pronounced correctly helped me understand their spelling and how to use them in writing. Most importantly, listening helped me stop translating everything in my head. Instead of thinking in my native language and then converting to English, I began thinking directly in English. This made my speaking faster and more natural. When I traveled to an English-speaking country, I felt prepared because of my daily listening habit. I could understand announcements, order food, and chat with locals without panicking. I also learned that it's okay to misunderstand sometimes. Everyone does. The important thing is to keep listening and trying, not to give up because of a few challenges. As I continued my listening journey, I realized that variety was key. I didn't just stick to one type of content. Sometimes I listened to news podcasts to stay informed, other times I enjoyed comedy shows or interviews with interesting people. This variety kept me curious and eager to learn. I also found it helpful to use subtitles or transcripts at first. Reading along while listening helped me connect the sounds to the words. Gradually, I relied less on subtitles until I could understand without them, and that was a big confidence booster. One challenge I faced was feeling overwhelmed by new words. I tried not to get stuck on every unfamiliar word. Instead, I focused on understanding the main ideas and guessed the meanings from context. This made learning less stressful and more enjoyable. Sometimes, I'd rewind and listen to a sentence or phrase multiple times until I could say it myself. This repetition helped me remember phrases naturally and use them in conversations without hesitation. Listening also improved my pronunciation. By mimicking the native speaker's rhythm, stress, and intonation, I sounded more fluent and natural. Friends even told me my accent was improving, which motivated me even more. Over time, I became more comfortable joining English conversations. I could understand jokes, follow fast talkers, and respond without feeling lost. This made social situations less intimidating and more fun. I started noticing connections between what I heard and how I felt. When speakers expressed emotions like excitement, sadness, or surprise, I could sense it in their voices. This helped me use emotions in my own speaking to sound more expressive. Another great benefit was how listening broadened my worldview. I learned about different cultures, perspectives, and ideas just by tuning into English content from around the world. This made my learning experience richer and more meaningful. I also made new friends online through English learning groups. We shared favorite podcasts and helped each other understand tricky parts. This community support was invaluable and kept me motivated during tough days. One thing I learned was to be patient with myself. Progress wasn't always fast or obvious, but every small step mattered. Some days I barely understood a sentence, and other days I caught entire conversations. That ups and downs cycle is normal in language learning. I realized the power of curiosity. Whenever I heard a new word or phrase, I'd try to find out more about it, its meaning, how it's used, and any cultural notes. This deeper understanding helped me remember words better than just memorizing lists. Sometimes, I challenged myself by watching movies or shows without subtitles. At first, it was hard and a little frustrating, but soon I noticed I was picking up more words and expressions naturally, just by paying attention. I made it a habit to think about what I heard in English throughout the day. For example, if someone said, "It's raining cats and dogs," I would imagine cats and dogs falling from the sky and laugh to myself. This playful approach made learning fun. I also found that celebrating small victories kept me motivated. Whether it was understanding a tricky phrase, successfully ordering food in English, or simply feeling more confident, these moments reminded me that my effort was paying off. Finally, I want to say this: consistency is the secret. Even when I didn't feel like it, those 10 minutes of listening each day built a strong foundation. And that foundation gave me the courage to speak English with confidence and joy. Listening every day became a huge source of motivation. As I noticed my progress, I felt excited to keep learning and improving, knowing my efforts were paying off. If you're learning English, I encourage you to make listening a daily habit. Find content you enjoy, start small, and be patient. Over time, you'll hear your speaking skills improve, and that feeling of success is priceless.
Your English is shining brighter by the minute. Hit that next video to keep leveling up your skills. Or dive into our other episodes for more secrets to talk like a pro. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to join the Groovy English crew.